It's My Penis and I'll Cry If I Want to. It's about the differences between men and women and how society doesn't allow us to integrate our masculine and feminine characteristics and the different ways in which that can affect us. This is my second solo show, and I wanted to write another solo show that had to do with the differences between men and women and how we're really not that different, because we both are made up of masculine and feminine characteristics. But I was working on, the working title of this show was I Know Why the Dog Drinks from the Toilet. And it was really going to focus more on, you know, this is how men are, this is how women are, but this is how we're alike. I decided to go a different way. And when I did, the title, I Know Why the Dog Drinks from the Toilet, didn't really fit. Well, the concept started to change when I became separated from my wife. And I was going through and reflecting upon, you know, a lot of what had happened in my marriage. And there was a lot of ridicule because I'm someone who I express my emotions, and my feelings get hurt. And there was a lot of ridicule of that. I began to think about other men who possibly were in the same position that I was in, that they were being ridiculed or made fun of because they're sensitive, because they, you know, they might cry when their feelings are hurt. They express their emotions. And then I started to think about the other side. How many women are ridiculed and called names because they're assertive and aggressive? And I'm like, well, these are characteristics that lie in both men and women, and that's okay. Nobody should be ridiculed because of it, because that's just who we are. They should be allowed to be who they are. A friend of mine was doing a solo show, and I went to see her show, and then we went to see a solo show together. And it was in Impact Theater's Solo Jams. And they were getting ready to have a new series of solo jams, and she told me I should submit my show because it wasn't a finished product. So I wasn't sure, I really didn't think that it would make it in, but it did. So I was like, okay, now I have to finish the show. I came up with a title because I was under pressure to come up with a title. I'm a man, I'm okay if I cry. And I'm like, you know what, it's my penis, I'll cry if I want to. Of course, it's a play on It's My Party and I'll cry if I want to. But I have 8 different characters in the show, 2 of which are your stereotypical man and stereotypical woman. And then I take you through 3 different stages of people's lives. And I show you a moment in these people's lives from each point of view. So I have this 20-something guy and girl who hook up one night at a party, and I tell about that experience from the guy's point of view and from the girl's point of view. Then I have a middle-aged married couple whose marriage is crumbling because of the expectations that's being placed on the husband because he's a man. And I show an argument, a very volatile argument from both sides, from his point of view and from her point of view. And then finally I have an elderly couple who the husband is on his deathbed and he's imparting the wisdom to his doctor about life and about how you got to be who you are. It's also told from the wife's point of view of how she initially rejected his being that way and how she came to accept the fact that no, this is how you live. Because if you're completely open and honest, then everything gets said, everything gets shared. There's nothing ever left on the table. Everything is dealt with and you can move on. And it doesn't infect the rest of your life. I think I would like people to walk away from this show feeling better about themselves, because I think there are a lot of people out there who hide certain aspects of themselves because they're not necessarily feminine if they're women or not necessarily masculine if they're men. And I think I would like people to walk away being, you know what, I'm just going to be who I am. You know, if for a man, you know, if I want to cry, I'm going to cry. You know, for a woman, it's like, if I want to kick your ass, I'm going to kick your ass. I've performed this show twice in Impact Theater's Solo Jam series. Once in the Abby Hoffman Die for Our Sins Festival, and then in November of last year, I went to New Orleans and performed in the New Orleans Fringe Festival. This June, I will be performing at the Atlanta Fringe Festival in Atlanta, Georgia, which runs June 5th through the 7th. This August, I will be in Nashville, Tennessee, performing in the Sideshow Fringe Festival. Come out and see It's My Penis and I'll Cry If I Want to. And I really hope you enjoyed the show. Well,